the southern parts, they really needed bridges across the river. So they asked Britain for convicts. They didn't want to. Most of the ideology around this had really changed. So people were starting to talk about transportation as something being very immoral. The experiences in the eastern states of Australia were pretty rough, and they learned a lot of lessons like, oh no, this is not good. But it was an easy solution, and it was going to be an appropriate solution under the circumstances. And Britain, of course, would fund the convicts. They would look after them, they would provide the materials for the projects, they would provide the engineers, nice influx of imperial dollars. So it was decided to ask Britain for those convicts. But they had conditions. They all had to be male. We only want male convicts, we don't need those females. It's all hard physical labour. So we only want the men. And the second thing was, we need them to be convicted of crimes against property, not against person. We don't want violent criminals, we don't want career criminals. First-time offenders, they're burglars, they're thieves, they're pickpockets, they forge documents or forge currency, that kind of thing. And the third thing was no political prisoners. Very definite. We don't want any trouble here with our convicts. And Britain went, yes, of course. And so they started sending convicts in 1850. And the very first ship to arrive was the Cindy, and it had 75 convicts on board and 50 pensioner guards. They came with their wives and children. And it was a little bit of a shock. We kind of knew that they would arrive, but not quite that early. So we had nowhere to put them. The warehouse was leased. It took a couple of months to convert it into a livable space, and the convicts moved into there. And then the engineers started arriving, a company of royal miners and sappers. And so the convicts could get to work, building the public buildings, the roads, the bridges, and also their own accommodation. Because this hilltop here is actually a limestone ridge. So the engineers decided that, great, the convicts could quarry the limestone from on site and then build the building all in one fell swoop, which is exactly what they did. So this is a very long building. It had 1,000 cells in it. We're currently in Division 1, and there are 3 more divisions. Divided up by these walls, but in the convict era that wall was not there. The wall was put in the 1890s. Alright? So what happened was we had 18 years worth of convict arrivals, 1850 to 1868. The next 18 years to 1886, all those convicts worked their way to freedom, and then the building was empty. And then it became the maximum security prison for Western Australia. They closed down Perth Jail, moved everybody here. And that's when they decided that the divisions were important, because local prisoners, of course, were all sorts of things, from didn't pay their fines through to I murdered 5 people on Saturday night, 5 people. So a very different scenario. So yeah, it had 1,000 cells in it altogether. Nearly 10,000 convicts we had over time. And yeah, they made a really big difference then to Western Australia. So this section here, you'll note, looks a bit different to the upper levels and the remainder of the divisions. And it's about the walls and the floor. So both of them have been stripped clean by the heritage workers to make it look like 1855 in here. So the walls, they are beautiful. The limestone is stunning, but it's soft and crumbly